Biology. In last lecture, we have discussed about the biology means study of living organism. Here we have taken the characteristics of life, and in that characteristics of life, first one is a metabolism. Metabolism is a sum total of all the reactions takes place inside the body and cell cytoplasm is called as metabolism. It shows further two different types as anabolism and catabolism. Anabolism is a constructive method and catabolism is a destructive method. Then the next characteristics of life, that it is a growth. Now if I ask to you people, what is a growth? That growth, it is irreversible increase in the dry weight of an organism is called as growth. Now my next question for you people is that is the growth is shown by living organism as well as non-living things? Then out of you people, number of the students are going to say growth is shown by only living organism and is not shown by the non-living things. But this is not so, mind it. Growth it is shown by both living as well as non-living things. Living things, living organism shows their growth, which is called as an intrinsic growth, and non-living thing, they shows extrinsic growth. Here with the help of simple example, we can take an account about the growth as the growth of non-living things. First, easily we are going to take an example related to increasing in the number, increasing in the size, increasing in the weight of non-living things. Easily we people are going to say buildings are growing around us. That means growth it is happen with the non-living things. Easily we are going to say during the flow of wind into the desert, within a few hours only there is a formation of a sand mound, that it is also a growth. Both of those things, both of those examples are related to the extrinsic growth. When externally by applying the external force, same kind of the things are get added on the previous one, it leads to the growth. And this growth is called as extrinsic growth. Now what is an intrinsic growth? When one cell forms a two cell, 2 to 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. In this way, the number of a cell, it goes on increasing. It results in the growth. Not only that, the unicellular organism also leads to the process of a growth, in which there is increase in the content of cell cytoplasm. So that it is a growth. Growth, now we can say, or you people also can say, is shown by both living thing as well as non-living things. That means growth is not a defining property of the life. We can't say if growth is there, then the organism or the thing is with life, and if growth is not there, it is non-living. This is not so. Now growth is an characteristics of both living as well as non-living things. That it is an intrinsic growth and extrinsic growth. Intrinsic growth shown by whom? Living organism, and extrinsic growth shown by non-living things. The next characteristics, reproduction. What is reproduction? The process of formation of new individual organism like that of the parents is called as reproduction. process of formation of new individual organism like that of the parents is called as reproduction. That reproduction is shown by the living organism. But this is also not a defining property of a life. Why? Because reproduction is not shown by all living organism. Here what I am going to say, reproduction is shown by living organism only, but all living organism does not shows reproduction. We can take an example, mule. I think you have heard about the word mule. Mule is a result of cross hybridization. When we make a cross in between the horse and a donkey, we got the hybrid individual called as a mule. And mind it, the mule is sterile. Another example, tigon. Tigon, when we make a cross in between lion and tiger, we have an hybrid in the form of a tigon. That means both that mule and tigon are the hybrid, and these hybrid animals, they do not have a capacity of reproduction. That means these are sterile. Sterile means the organism who don't have a ability to produce the new generation, called as a sterile. So that mule and tigon both are sterile. Instead of that mule and tigon, you can take an example of the human beings or sterile couple of a human. Both are living till they don't have a capacity to produce the new generation. That means we can't say if they are not able to produce the new individual organism, those are not non-living, those are living. So reproduction, it is shown by living organism, but it is not a defining property of a life. The next, if we observe the process of reproduction, not only that, we can take more example about the living organism who can't go for reproduction. Reproduction, it is shown by living organism, but all living organism does not shows reproduction. The next, reproduction are of two different types. First, asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction, I think you have an idea about the modes or types of reproduction. Asexual reproduction, the process of reproduction in which there is a formation of new individual organism without formation of a gamete, then question of union is not get arised about the gametes. In asexual reproduction, the new individual organism is formed without formation of the gamete and union of the gametes. Single parent can manage the formation of new individual organism is an asexual reproduction. In the process of asexual reproduction, the new individual organism form is an exact copy of the parent, because single parent is engaged in the formation of a new individual organism. There is no any kind of mixing. There is no any kind of union of the gametes from the male and the female. So, the new individual organism is an exact copy of the parent. If it is so, then it does not help in the process of evolution, because no variation into the next generation. No variation is observed into the new individual organism from the parent. So generation after generation, the same character, same genetic material is present into the organism who follows the process of asexual reproduction. So only they does not shows the modification and are not leads to the process of evolution. Then asexual reproduction in lower organism as well as higher organism is also observed. In lower organism, asexual reproduction is shown by the process of binary fission. I think you have heard about those words also. Binary fission, budding, fragmentation. In a binary fission, you can take an example of amoeba. In budding, I think you have heard about the hydra. You can take an example of hydra. In fragmentation, you can take an example of a planaria. They have the process of asexual reproduction by these different ways. Not only that, there is an also presence of gemule formation is one of the process of asexual reproduction. Then there is a formation of spores. Spore formation is also observed belong the asexual reproduction like penicillium shows an conidia. These are the non-motile spore. And chlamydomonas like organism belongs to the algae. They shows zoospore. Can move from one place to the another place but are belongs to the asexual reproduction. Then higher organism or higher plant, you can take an example of vegetative propagation is also one of the type of asexual reproduction. In that vegetative propagation, you can observe the plant are going to use their vegetative part for the process of propagation or formation of a new individual organism is called as asexual reproduction. In the case of vegetative parts, which are the vegetative part of plant body? Root, stem and leaf are the vegetative part of a plant body, and flower is a reproductive part. We can define the flower as it is an highly specialized structure which meant for the process of sexual reproduction. So the next type of reproduction is what? Sexual reproduction. In the process of sexual reproduction, both the parents are required. Both of those parents should produce the gametes. Gametes are also called as a sex cell, are also called as germ cells. These gametes or sex cells or germ cells are unite with each other. They leads to the syngamy, union of male and a female gamete, which result in the formation of zygote. That haploid male gamete when unite with the haploid female gamete, haploid stands for n number of a chromosome, single set of a chromosome. So n plus n, it forms 2n. That means haploid plus haploid, it forms a diploid. Haploid male gamete unite with the haploid female gamete to form diploid zygote. So mind it, zygote is a first cell of all sexually reproducing organism in their life, because from the zygote only the process of cleavage it goes on, the process of development of embryo is get started, which forms an embryo and then afterwards young one. This is about the sexual reproduction in which both the parents are participating as male and female gametes are get unite with each other. These two individuals' characters are come together and new individual organism is not an exact copy of a parent but is an mixture of male and female parent. So shows characters from both paternal side and maternal side. so only shows an variation. And mind it, the variations are helpful for the process of modification and evolution. This is about the reproduction as a characteristics of life. Remaining point in the relation of characteristics of life will take into the next lecture. It's all for today's lecture. Thank you.